Commissioners opened the beaches. COVID testing by paramedics, a grant program for local businesses is approved, and Hurricane Preparedness Week reminds us to prepare for the future. We have a lot to cover in today's news flash, so let's get started. Thanks so much for tuning in to this week's News Flash wrap-up. I'm April Sarver. The Board of County Commissioners voted unanimously to end limited beach hours and open all county-owned Gulf Front beaches immediately during Tuesday's meeting. Some background on the board's decision include the well-established social distancing practices taking place in Okaloosa County, the low risk presented by utilizing the beaches for recreation, and the success of Duval County's open beaches. The board also gave final approval for a grant program to help keep Okaloosa County small businesses solvent during this time of crisis. The grant, which is funded from business tax receipts, would give up to $2,500 of assistance to approved applicants having fewer than 20 employees, a physical storefront in Okaloosa County, and who have been affected negatively by the COVID-19 crisis. Business owners will be able to apply for this grant as early as next week when the program goes live. Applications will be available at myokaloosa.com. Commissioners also gave county employees direction to do the legwork and start a series of mobile testing sites for coronavirus using our emergency medical teams. Jekiah Lofton sat down with Okaloosa County Public Safety Director Patrick Maddox.
Thanks, April. I'm here with Public Safety Director Patrick Maddox, who's going to give us a little bit more insight as to what happened during the Okaloosa County Board Commission meeting.
So in the Northwest Florida area, our numbers were substantially lower and the need for increased testing became apparent relatively early. So now that we're in the phase where we're able to do that, the National Strategic Stockpile is moving a bit. We have the ability to get some more PPE, some more testing supplies, because they've been ramping up for all this time. And now that we have that availability and we've seen that our hospital capacity is able to support the number of COVID cases that we have here locally, we're able to dedicate more personnel and more supplies towards mobile testing areas that we're actually making the initiative between our own EMS and the Department of Health here locally without state-supported personnel.
Okay. And as far as mobile testing, how many sites do you feel like will be available in Okaloosa County for those citizens to access?
We'll be able to do one at a time, but we are going to move them all around the county. So I have some areas here, Crestview, Baker, Niceville, Fort Walton, Central Destin. We'll try to get all around the county so that people can access it at one time or another. And we'll probably run one site for a week at a time or 2 days at a time. We're going to do it twice a week. Is our initial plan. For 3 hours, perhaps between 8 and 11 on Tuesdays and Thursdays is the initial plan. All of this, of course, is subject to final board review and final planning with coordination between EMS and the Department of Health.
Okay, that's great. That's amazing. Can you tell us a little bit more about, will these be drive-up testing sites, or will you have to make, not reservations, but will you have to call in before showing up? Prior to.
So you will not have to call in beforehand. What's going to happen, they will be drive-up testing sites, and there will be ample signage, and Chris and his team will go ahead and get the information out on social media. We'll make sure that it's available, but we'll make sure that the population is aware of the locations and times. The only things that can change that is, of course, since it's an outdoor testing site where we may have tents and outdoor equipment, inclement weather may change something like that. So we'll be able to push that information out. If we put a schedule up, our anticipated schedule on our website, we would ask that the public refer to that on a regular basis as we look at our weather predictions. If we're going to have a really bad stormy day or severe weather coming through, high winds, we may have to take those tents down for that period and reschedule that particular volley of testing.
All right, thank you so much, Patrick.
Certainly.
The final plan will be unveiled at next week's Emergency Commission meeting. You can see the entire interview on our YouTube channel for more information. Just search Okaloosa County, Florida on YouTube or click the link in the description of this video. Okaloosa County beaches, parks, and Crab Island are open for the public to enjoy. And while you might see vendors on the beach sand, it may be a little bit before vendors are back on Crab Island. The Commission approved registered vendors to come back to the popular summer hotspot, but county approval isn't the only piece of that puzzle. Vendors also need approval from the National Park Service, which has a different reopening schedule from the rest of the government, as it's a federal property. It may be the end of May before vendors are allowed to restart their businesses. Hurricane season drifts closer and closer, just over 20 days away until it officially begins. Though we need to remember, it's not a hard date. If you recall, 2018, subtropical storm Alberto came ashore near Destin and blew through Okaloosa County before the start of hurricane season. Now's the time to get prepared. To that end, we've developed the Okaloosa County Hurricane Preparedness Guide. Consider it a game plan to prepare yourself, your family, and business for the season. You can download the guide online. The address is below and in the description of this video. The state of artificial reefs in Okaloosa County has never been better. We now have more than 700 modules making up 115 offshore reefs the public can use for fishing, diving, and other nautical activities. You can find most of the reef sites on our GIS department website. And as always, the link is in the description of this video. The Okaloosa County Water and Sewer Department has the money in hand from Triumph Gulf Coast, which manages the settlement from the BP oil spill, and will begin to build water and sewer lines out to the Shoal River Ranch east of Crestview in the next several months. The project is part of an effort to entice heavy industry to move to Okaloosa County, diversify our economy, and attract more high-paying jobs for our skilled workers. It's like Netflix and Kindle all rolled up into one for free. The Okaloosa County Library Cooperative, which unites all 6 city libraries in the county, wants to make sure you know about its online resources in this time of social distancing. Christopher Saul has more.
You might think of the library as a place to pick up one of these, but it's had a technological revolution. As a matter of fact, it can now be your reader and your teacher in this age of COVID-19.
No matter where you go, the reminders are everywhere. Less traffic on the roads, darkened shops, playgrounds covered in caution tape. But the Okaloosa County Library Cooperative is still open, virtually, to arm citizens with resources to use this time wisely. Library Cooperative Coordinator for Okaloosa County, Vicki Stever, is getting the word out about the county library's online books, magazines, videos, and more. One yard side, or one conversation at a time.
And this is a way that they can bring the library into their own home.
Members of the libraries in Okaloosa County have almost instant access to the books and resources they need. Everything from the Three Musketeers to Rolling Stone magazine, right on their computer, phone, or tablet.
In our 2 online vendor services, I think there's close to 18,000 items now. We have over 100 magazine titles, and you can check out those digital issues.
You can also schedule online tutoring help for kids, look for a new job, and more from the readokaloosa.org site.
The library card you'll get is good at any one of Okaloosa County's libraries, and it's always free. For Okaloosa County, I'm Christopher Saul.
Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next Friday. Have a good lunch and a great weekend.